Hey, you made it.
I did. Made it out.
It's always a good sign. Sometimes people don't like. I would say like 30% of the time people don't show up. So
Really?
yeah, it's I mean, it's probably different if you're like Joe Rogan or something. I don't think
Hmm.
people blow that off. But when you're just like an independent podcaster like me, it's we're
Hey,
kind
I'm
of
independent
priority.
too. I'm
Yeah,
independent.
that's
So,
what's so cool. I know. I love it. It's awesome though. I'm kind of. I feel like I'm catching you on your rise up to the top. I hope, right?
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because you're so young. I mean, you have your whole future ahead of you.
I hope so.
And you're already making great music. How did you learn? I mean, because I've listened to all the songs that are out now. I think
Hmm.
there's not you don't have a full album out yet,
No,
right?
that's coming later.
Okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
the songs that I've heard are great. How did you learn how to write songs?
I wrote my first song when I was like 10. I went to this songwriting camp somewhere. I hadn't had an interest in music before then. It was one of those things where my parents just kind of like threw me into it, and I was like, okay. And then I I remember the first day we started writing a song, and I was like 10, and I like put my hand up for an idea, and I remember it being like a really good idea, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then I just kept building my confidence and suggesting ideas, and I don't know, I guess I learned the tricks and the tips, and I've done a lot of mentor sessions with different songwriters, and I've written with a bunch of different people. So then you kind of, I guess, pick up, and also just listening to music, like what's popular, what kind of music you like, why. I did a lot of song analyzing, and I still do. Like if I really like a song, I'll listen to it and I'm like, why do I like this song so much? And then I'm like, oh, that's why. Let me see what I can do with that kind of thing.
Okay, that's awesome. So
Hmm.
you're more analytical because for some people I feel like they say the songs, oh, it just comes to me. I don't know, it just pours out when they start writing. But for you, you're kind of piecing things together and putting it together like a kind of like a puzzle.
Yeah. And it definitely I will be laying in bed and I'll be rummaging through things in my brain, and then a melody or a whole like chorus will come to me and I'm like, whoa. But I think that comes from knowing what sounds good and doing all that pre-preparation so that when that does come, when those melodies do come, you can tell like what's good. Because it's like, oh, that makes sense. So
Yeah, that's good that you actually write your own songs though, because there's a lot of musicians, especially I know that's a big thing in Nashville,
oh yeah.
where a lot of people go down there and they sing, but like they say that the money is all in writing the songs. If you don't write your own songs, it's a lot harder. It's way more competitive because a lot of people can sing, but songwriting is a lot harder of a skill, and it looks like you're really good at that from what I can hear.
Thank you. Thank you. I've spent a lot of time working on it, so I'm glad that it's fruitful.
Yeah, I like that. So, I mean, the cliffhanger, is that your latest? That's a really cool riff.
Yes. Thank you. My guitar player came up with it. Caleb.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you have help, like you said, you have co-writes. So like they'll come up with a riff and then you'll put it together. And then I'm assuming, do you write a lot of the lyrics yourself though?
Yes. So, this one, Cliffhanger, we actually wrote in Spain, and I
Hmm.
wrote it with a girl from England and a man from Sweden, I'm pretty sure, or Switzerland. I always get the two mixed up. Uh, and yeah, we were in Spain at like this songwriters retreat, and we all had a pretty equal share in the lyrics, I would say. But when it comes to conceptualization, all of my songs are about the stuff that I've been through. So, it is kind of like suggestions are thrown from a lot of different places, but then it's kind of pieced together by what's a real and authentic experience to the artist, right? Which in this case is me. So that's always really nice when people are willing to help me get my vision across and be so invested in the song and all that stuff. So
How does that work with the business side of it? Because you're an independent artist. I mean, do you have a manager or somebody, or that you give these people a songwriting credit and they get a piece of it on Spotify and all that stuff, or is it just a thing where it's you're independent enough where they people just go, oh, we'll just help you out and you could just take it?
No, everyone gets equal splits.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you always hear stories like that. Like, what is the one girl, the Friday song girl that she went to
Oh,
something and
Rebecca
like
Black.
Rebecca Black, yeah, yeah, and like how like I think that it was a thing like they got the song and then it blew up, and then the guy was like, "Well, no, I want a piece. I wrote the song," and then they're like, "Well, we paid for it. Like we paid
Yeah.
whatever, like $500." And then
Yeah.
it obviously made way more. So yeah, you never because that's the thing. You never know. Even you say you're independent, but one of these songs could blow up. It could become a song in a movie, a commercial, like all sorts of things. So
Yeah, we get the contracts, smart about it.
yeah, no, that's good. That's one thing I've learned about, people hate on the younger generation, but at least in terms of all the musicians that I've interviewed, you guys are way ahead of the musicians of say the 80s and 90s. They did not know what they were doing. They got roped into terrible deals. All these young kids, like there's a kid here, Eddie Eberly, that was in Arizona. He's in Nashville now, but I mean, he was telling me he's got like a lawyer and all this stuff. I was like, wow, like, and he was like 20. I was like, wow, you
Yeah.
already got a lawyer and manager, all this stuff, like before. I mean, so it's like you prepare for blowing up, basically.
Right. Yeah, essentially. I mean, I think it's because, everyone learns more as time goes on, right? So it's
Hmm.
like we watched all that stuff happen to musicians of the 80s, 90s, whatever. We learned what kind of went wrong there. And then also we spent a lot of time on like I spent a lot of time online. So I've heard horror stories from people of this day and age too with record deals or whatever, like even managers taking money from artists without them knowing, like a whole bunch of different things so that we know what to kind of look for and red flags and all those kinds of things. And yeah, I think I've also with the whole child star generation, like Justin Bieber and everyone like that, you know, they weren't prepared for their success, because who would have known, right? Like they blossomed so fast that it's like now we understand and we understand what happened because of that, like that causes mental issues. And we're like, okay, well, how can we prepare for if that were to happen, which would be amazing? How could we prepare for that, to make sure that it's smooth and it's sustainable and it's good for everyone and all that.
How do you prepare? Have you learned like the tricks of I mean, because life can just be a struggle at times, but especially, yeah, when you are thrown a bunch of success and you're not ready for it, how do you prepare for potentially blowing up?
I think building a team is really important. Like building a team who you know is going to support you. Um, and like learning as much as you can about the industry and like if you have to wear certain hats, like, you should kind of know as an artist, you should kind of know what everyone's role is and what they should be doing so that if somebody steps out of line a little bit or tries to, you know, kind of curve the ball a little bit, you're kind of like, that's not right. You know what I mean? Just staying informed and like having a level head on you, I guess, is super important too, because you don't want to. I'm guessing at this point. Who
Yeah.
knows, right? But that's kind of what
Oh.
I try and do.
Wow, it seems like you got a really good head on your shoulders, which is I think is an important part of growing yourself as a musician too. I mean, because yeah, you got to have the talent, which you obviously have, but you also have to have that business savvy or know the people who to trust, right? Like because sometimes you trust the wrong people. I've heard a lot of those kinds of horror stories, and then the bad things happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a people's game, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. You can be not talented at all, like, and you can still do well if you know the right people and if you are a good person to be
Yeah.
around, right?
Or
Like,
sometimes I just feel like it's like happenstance or luck. Or I mean, look at that, like the Hawk Tuah girl. I mean, she's got her own She is the number three most popular podcast. I'm
it's
like, I've
number
been
three
doing this for
now.
5 years. Yeah, number three. I mean, I don't know if it'll stay number three, but for whatever this week, it was like number three most popular podcast, which so frustrating for a guy like me who's like been trying so hard for, grinding for 5 years, and
Yeah,
and then someone just comes along and is like, boom, they're like an instant success. And
I
ugh.
know. I know. I've looked at that too because I've been doing this for like a decade now. And when people just blow up on TikTok when they release like one
Hmm.
song, I'm just like, okay. Like, okay.
Yeah, that
You
is a
know,
thing with the TikTok. So you're on TikTok then as well, and you're using that as a way to grow your brand?
I try. That is the thing that I think I could use the most development in is the content creation, the social media aspect of it. I mean, it's difficult. Like I'm an artist, right? And I like to write songs, I like to perform music, I like to play music, I like to even do a lot of the business things like bio writing, just any kind of writing, any creative stuff. But as soon as it comes to talking to a camera
Hmm.
or, singing in front of a camera with no audience, there's no motivation for me to do that. And I have, I think it's one of those things where it's like you just got to keep pushing, pushing, pushing because like the 100th video you do is gonna blow up kind of thing. But it's really hard to get to 50. You know what I mean?
Right. No. Yeah, I mean, going back to the guy I mentioned earlier from Arizona, I think he's changed his name to Eddie and the Getaway. I think that's the name of his group, but because he had like, I don't know, like 9,000 followers on Instagram, and like he wasn't posting very much. But then I don't know, when he moved to Nashville, I think he got hooked up with a manager or something, or somebody told him you need to start posting more. And he started posting a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok, and he blew up. I think last I checked, I think he's at like a 250,000 now. But it's a lot of little clips and video. And then I think during the pandemic too, I think he went live a lot on TikTok. That's a
Mm,
big thing. And he was
yeah,
just playing. So, I mean, it's like, think about it, you're playing your guitar, you're practicing or whatever, just hanging out.
yeah,
Turn on your phone and go live on TikTok. And you'd be surprised how many people would be interested in hearing that and would be like curious and start following you.
totally.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is kind of like, sometimes I think it's a numbers game. Like, yeah, there's the people like the Hawk Tuah girl that just blow up from one clip, but then there's a lot of it. It's just like grinding and grinding and grinding and creating clip, 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 and then it just starts to slowly grow. I think you could grow a lot faster than, like, say, like a podcaster such as myself, like, because you have so much talent.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like it's learning, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing this project. We released our first song almost a year ago. Like not even a year ago. So, like you learn as you go and it's been definitely there's been a lot of learning moments and I think that's one of them is the importance of creating videos and taking risks in videos or on stage
Mhm.
or right now I'm focusing on performance coaching and doing all that kind of stuff to like up my live show. And I think that's part of preparing, for the shot, the opportunity is just getting all your stuff in order, right? Um, and then when the video does blow up, hopefully, then you got stuff to back it up. But yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at performing, like changing your performance, you're talking about like stage moves and stuff. Is there certain
Yeah, stuff
musicians
like
that you
that.
look at that you want to
Yeah.
emulate?
Yeah. Or like banter, things like that.
The
You know.
banter. Okay. I love stage banter. I mean, the kings of this, which is like, it's a whole nother I'm not saying you should do this, but like, if you ever see a Steel Panther show, have you ever seen them?
I haven't.
Oh my
No.
gosh. Because it's like full on like comedy plus
Mhm.
music. And I mean, they do like, it's like a couple minutes of banter and they joke. And every time I've seen them like 20 or 30 times, it's different every time. I don't know how they do it, but that's like the extreme. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, some people, and then also but sometimes too, you got to be careful because I feel like the banter can get you in trouble. If you say something that's like politically incorrect or whatever,
Yeah.
then people get mad that how dare they said this. And so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely gotta be politically correct on stage and off, that's good too.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because everything's documented. I think too that may be why your generation is making better moves with the music business. Like you're not getting screwed over as much because everything is so transparent now. Like these managers, these sneaky guys can't really hide anymore and be if you're dirty, it's like you're exposed a lot sooner now.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because everything's there, like yeah, there's always pictures, there's always videos, there's always cameras around. you know?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
You got to be careful. It's but sometimes like then you get look at a band like Motley Crue, and it's like they built their brand on controversy. Like so it's like I don't know.
That's
I
a
don't know
thing
what,
too, you know? It's like it's about what your brand is and what your audience wants,
Mhm.
right? Like that's the whole thing,
Yeah.
I
You're
think.
so you said the your first song that you guys was Drag Me. That was the first song you wrote on your own, right? That's got a really
Yes.
cool hook. That's a cool one.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was a really cool one because that one I remember being in the car with my mom and she was like, I feel like I have to drag you through life. I was going through like this depressive episode and pretty sure this was during the pandemic. And I was like, ooh, like that hit me, you know? I was like, that's rough, you know? Because it hit me, like, 'cause it's true. I wasn't doing anything, like, in order to get me out of bed. Like, you had to really get me out, you know, like all those kinds of things. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a song about that. And I just kind of picked up a guitar and actually that song was another thing where I did it like I wrote different things and then I pieced them together kind of thing. It was very um the concept was inspirational, but then I like pieced it together.
That's cool. Yeah, that I love that. That's it is a complicated thing, writing songs, and it's just different for everybody. But whatever you're doing is obviously working. And the other one that I mean, you have so many good ones. The song "Harder." I want to ask you about that though, because you said that's about growing up and not enjoying it. But the music video looked really easy because it looked like the coolest music video. You're just laying down in bed like sleeping. I was like, oh, this must have been so fun to film.
Yeah, it kind of was. I was like, it's just I actually at one point I like took a nap. I was so tired. It was so cold in that studio though. I that's the only thing. It was really cold in that studio because we shot it during like December, January, and there was like no heating. And so I was freezing. So I'd have to like go under the covers for a bit and then come out and then like roll around on the bed or whatever I did. Um, but that song, yeah, it's about a lot of things. It's that was actually the first song that I wrote. I was in a band, and it which ended 2 years ago now, something like that.
Vintage
And
Flight, I think, right?
Vintage Flight, yeah, yeah. Um, and so we went our separate ways, and then I was kind of like, well, what now? Like, what do I do with my life now? And then I went to this songwriting thing to like try it out because I was like, I don't know who I am, what kind of music I want to make. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's figure it out. And so I went, and this song was one of those songs where I was just talking about, you know, stuff I was going through and my co-writer, he was amazing. And his name's Joe Jacobs, and he's amazing. And he was just kind of like, "Tell me what's going on in your life. Let's make something for you." And I was like, "Okay, that's so nice." And I was just like listing off a bunch of things, and I was like, "It's just so much harder than it used to be." And he was like, "That right there, that's the line." And we decided to make it like a blues ballad slash like a heavy blues rock ballad kind of thing. Um, and it was just kind of about everything, like how I didn't want to ever get up out of bed in the morning because I didn't see a good way of living at that point. Because I was just so unmotivated. Very similar times to Drag Me. And I was just like, I used to, when I was younger and when I was more ignorant and naive, it was easier to get out of bed in the morning because I didn't have all this weight. I wasn't so jaded. There wasn't like something basically like sticking me into like this stuck place, which is what the whole album is about, is being in a confined, stuck place because you don't know what life outside of that looks like because you just can't see it anymore. Um, And so yeah, it's probably my favorite song that we've released so far, just in terms of like real emotional. I mean, all of them are emotional, but like real emotional songwriting specifically.
Yeah. Well, and then the song "Shaking Me Up." I mean, I feel like that is definitely an emotional song as well. It sounds like it's more of a darker topic, like assuming it's about a fight based on the music video and the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about a lot of fights. It's
A lot
about
of fights. Okay.
yeah, I mean it's about two people, which I was one of them. One person with anger problems and one person with depression, and I'm the person with depression, and the way it just kind of can blow up. And it just the way that that made me feel, like the way that, being yelled at, being, there was a lot to it for sure, which I'm not going to get into, but just the amplification of worst traits and how toxic that can be, and how no one should ever yell at anyone because it sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah, I know. I have that. I yell sometimes too with my girlfriend, but I'm always like, I'm yelling at the situation. I'm not
Mhm,
yelling at you,
mhm.
because that's, yeah, she's fine. It's like usually I'm not mad at her. I'm like, be in traffic or something. I'll be mad. I'll yell, but I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
not yelling at you. I'm mad at the situation. So I always have to clear that up. But yeah, I don't.
definitely a difference.
Yeah,
Definitely a difference. Yeah, I yell
nobody
too.
likes to be yelled at. Yeah, for sure.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
especially like if I don't know if you've ever had a job where a boss has yelled at you and like, and to me I'm just like, I'm too old for that kind of thing. Like it's different if you're a little kid and your parent yells at you. Okay, maybe that's, but like when you become an adult, I feel like you can't have another adult yell at you. It's just
No.
I don't know. It's demeaning, I
It
guess.
is. Yeah, it's the lack of respect. It's like, why do you think that you can talk to me in that way, you know? And it wasn't just the yelling. There was like a lot surrounding it. I think that's the whole idea is like kind of painting the song kind of paints a picture where it's like this is a bad situation and it's worse when you yell. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
just then that's the breaking point. Is like then I can't do it anymore. Like that kind of thing.
Right.
Um and that relationship is actually very much explored throughout the album. Cliffhanger, the most recent release, is also about that
Hmm.
situation. And that it's kind of almost like the sequel to Shaking Me Up. It's
Hmm.
almost that breaking point where it's like, okay, I've had enough of that. Can I cling on to the good parts or should I cut ties with this person? Right. And it's that internal battle being like, am I strong enough to do either of those options? You know? So yeah.
Hmm.
And that whole thing just keeps going.
Yeah. It reminds
Yeah.
me of Alanis Morissette, like I don't hopefully these songs aren't about the same guy, Dave Coulier or whatever.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Just checking.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are
Hmm.
you a fan of hers? She's
Oh
Canadian.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's Canadian.
Because you're
Yes.
Canadian, right? You
Yep.
live in near Toronto or something,
I
Kitchener?
live about, yeah, an hour south of Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, in Kitchener. Yeah, it's a good place. I actually am in the process of getting my green card right now. So hopefully I'll be able to join you down there.
Oh yeah, so then would you move to the States or are you saying just a tour or both?
Hopefully both.
Okay, so you'd move her and then you'd tour all throughout. Wow, okay. Which
Yeah.
which city are you eyeing? Like Nashville or LA or New York or
I'm thinking like LA, California. I was thinking Seattle for a bit because,
That's where I'm from originally.
really?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix now. We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a little bit of a music scene. If you came down here, you would kill. I mean, you'd be like the biggest star in Phoenix, I feel like.
Well, I'll definitely visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper lives here. And so there's a little bit of a music scene. LA, I mean, I feel like Nashville. I know people think it's like country music, but have you ever been to Nashville?
I've never been. See, I'm 20.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's right.
I
Shit, you
barely
can't.
go down to the States. Well, I'm turning 21 in less than 2 weeks, but
Okay. You
So I'm
gotta
actually
go.
gonna spend, yeah, my birthday in the States. So I'll
You got to
be.
go to, well, I would say two cities. I mean, I'd love for you to come to Scottsdale too, or Phoenix, because I'd love to come see you play. But
Mhm.
definitely on your bucket list, definitely put Nashville. Actually, three at Nashville just to
Yeah.
see the music scene. It's
Yeah.
insane. And
Mhm.
then Austin is also a very good music city. And since you're going to be 21, you got to go to Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
the music scene is fun there, but just Vegas in general is just you got
Vegas.
it's worth going for being 21 on your 21st birthday. I feel like when I turned 21, my parents took me to Vegas. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah,
That's
those
nice.
three. LA, I
Yeah.
don't, have you been to LA before?
I have been, but I went during the pandemic. So
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, but I'm visiting LA in 2 weeks. So
oh okay.
yeah.
Go to the here's my tip for LA. I don't know if you like, do you like stand-up comedy at all?
Actually, I was just having a conversation about this with somebody. I've never been to a stand-up show
Okay,
ever.
go to the Comedy Store. It's like every famous comedian that you can think of, they all go there and they'll do like 5 minute sets or whatever. I mean, and it's even if so, if you've never seen a comedy show, I think that would be a good place to start. I think it'd be really fun. But the Whiskey A Go Go is like a legendary music
Oh,
venue,
I've been
and
there.
yeah, okay, so they're like down the street from each other. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Sunset.
yeah. Do you have any? You have a couple shows scheduled in
Yeah.
Canada. Do you have any other shows that are not on the website yet that you can announce?
I have, oh, I forget which ones are on the website.
There's only
Um,
like two on there right now, I think.
yeah, so I got one October 18th in Sarnia. I got one in Toronto on October 25th, and I've got one in London on November 15th, and that's it for now. Um, yeah, we're definitely focusing on creating the album right now. We're actually just finishing up writing and arranging the last three songs right now. So then we're gonna get back into the studio with those, and then we're gonna drop the album sometime this winter, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's my first one, and I think it tells a story and it gets a point across, and I don't know, I'm pretty proud of it so far. So yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
good.
no, it's great. It's great. So the stuff I've heard is great. The videos are great.
Thank you.
And you've already done some big shows, right? I mean, you opened for the Goo Goo Dolls at this
Yeah.
music festival. Did you have any interaction with them? I know a lot of times musicians keep separate dressing rooms, but
Yeah, I mean, um, they had their own like quiet area, which is totally cool. They were awesome live. They were so great. Hung out with the Trues though. So that was the same day we opened up for the Trues as well. They're a Canadian band. They're pretty
okay.
big. They're
Oh,
super big.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Um,
check them out.
yeah, they're great. Um, and I just opened up for the Beaches about a week and a half ago. Um,
Did you open for Sass Jordan too? That would be
yeah,
interesting because that you guys are
yeah,
kind of similar. Did you I would think that she would maybe reach out and give you some advice or something.
maybe. We were I like by association opened up for her. We played the same stage on the same
Oh,
day,
okay.
kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, but so we didn't actually get to talk, but I'm sure we'd be able to set something up anyway.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you did meet the Bare Naked Ladies when you were 13 or something. That sounds
Yeah.
kind of like cool. Did they give you any advice or anything?
Oh God, I don't even remember. The thing I do remember is that so we have this place in Kitchener, which is the city I live in, and it's called Bobby O'Brien's, and it's a staple for like it's like a local staple, right? So it's just so interesting that I was there, and then all of a sudden the Bare Naked Ladies, for some reason, knew that that was like the place to go.
Huh.
You know what I mean? And then they signed a napkin for me, and then I lost the napkin.
Oh shit. Well, you have
Yeah.
the story at least.
Exactly. I lose everything. I have had I've got guitar picks from people, drumsticks, set lists. I don't know where they went.
Hmm.
I just lose
Well,
everything.
what's on your bucket list? Is there what bands do you want? I know you're a fan of Alice in Chains and Smashing Pumpkins. Are those two that you'd want to open for, or
I
I
mean,
think they're pretty
yeah.
reckless? Or
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to open for you know who I'd really like to open up for, which is kind of hilarious, is Nickelback. I would love to open up for Nickelback.
They're Canadian.
They're Canadian. I'd love to open for them. Pretty Reckless. There's this band out of LA called Badflower that I really like.
Oh my God, I love them. I've been just trying to
Yeah.
get that guy on my podcast. I'm like, I
Oh,
just reached out.
Josh.
Yeah, I'm like, so
Oh,
funny. I was interviewing this band, Goodbye June, and
okay.
and we're doing the interview, and all of a sudden he pans the camera over, and it was Josh from Badflower, and he's just like talking, and I was like, what the hell? Like he cameoed in my interview, but then I never could get him on. But oh my God, they're that latest song, "Teacher's Got a Gun" or whatever.
Oh, he just got a gun. And then they
Oh.
released a song after that called Detroit, which I
Detroit,
really
yeah,
like.
both of those are. Oh, you got to
Mm,
open. Yes, let's put that on. Let's put this in the universe. You're going to open for Badflower.
yes. I've wanted
Yeah,
that for so long. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. They're
Yeah.
coming because they're coming to Phoenix. They're on a tour right now. I was surprised the venue they're playing is kind of small. I'm like, I feel like they need to play a way bigger venue. It's going to be really crowded.
Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want it to be crowded.
Yeah. Have you tried to reach out to them and like
Not yet.
no?
I feel like I want to get the album done first
Sure.
and just kind of put that all out there. We do have some mutual friends though. So, I'm
Oh,
thinking,
really? Who?
yeah.
Maybe I.
Um
If you
uh
can say.
yeah, so Dead Poet Society, do you know them?
Yeah, I had him on Jack. Yeah, I had him on
Jack.
my show too.
Oh,
He's
which
super
one?
nice.
The guitar player
Uh, Jack,
or the
what's his?
singer?
He's like the front man. He's a singer.
Oh, the singer, because the guitar player is also named Jack.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
it's
they're a great band.
yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. Those guys are great.
Yeah, they are. I would love to open up for them too.
That would be. They're really good live. We saw them down here. They played a very small venue, and it was packed, and it was so crowded. But the energy was like, because Jack is such a good front man. I mean,
Mm.
he made everybody like sit down, and then we all jumped up at the same time, and it was crazy. It was a wild show.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I love that kind of genre of music. Super into that kind of thing. Yeah. Um, yeah, they're great guys too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
Yeah.
Highly Suspect? I just had that singer on my
Oh
show.
yeah, you just talked to him. Yeah, I went to go see them. They did their first ever Canadian show in Toronto, and
Hmm.
yeah, I got to go see that. That was awesome. They were really great.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you open for some of these people, and then eventually maybe they're going to open for you. So
Maybe.
awesome. So do we have an actual release date for the album, or just you said this winter sometime?
This winter, I'm really focused right now on getting the songs to where I feel comfortable with them being the best that they can be rather than promising a date. But I'm really gunning for the winter. I mean, it's the first album, right? Like I originally thought it was going to be done by the end of the year, and then as time went on, I realized, oh, this is like a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with taking your time. You just don't be like, a Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy and take like 20 years. But yeah.
I'll put it out before I'm 40.
Okay.
Promise.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to hearing new music and hopefully eventually seeing you perform a live show in the States. Unless if I'm in Canada, I'll hit you up. But otherwise, I'll have to see you in the States if you come here.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Okay. Cool. Keep me posted. Thanks so much for
Yeah.
doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.